people are telling me, hey, the guys attacking us, they're all Chinese spies. And my concept of spies at the time, I'm thinking like James Bond. You know what I mean? That was what I thought a spy was. I'm thinking like Mission Impossible. And I'm like, I look at these guys and there's guys in wife beaters looking like they haven't showered in a week. You know, like they have like 3 beard strands. You know, like they look all scraggly. I'm like, that is not a spy. Come on. You know, I've seen the movies. I know what a spy looks like. And they're like, no, those are spies. And so I start watching, and I start doing investigative journalism. I start noticing patterns. The groups coming out and protesting against the the human rights activists, they have banners like, the things on it, but then they have the name of organizations. So it's like Fujian American Association, Shandong Association, Peking Association, things like that. I'm like, man, what are these? I find out these are what are called tongs, Tongs. And they're like fraternal organizations that run, they're like the unofficial government of the Chinese communities. I come to find out the CCP has an entire operation to control them. Not all of them are controlled by the CCP, but they have an entire branch of their government that works on controlling. It's called the United Front Work Department. And then I find out the ones coming out, they're all the pro-CCP ones. It turns out one of the main ones involved, the Fujian American Association, they invite Chinese officials all the time to come speak. And I find out they're also tied to the Chinese mafia.
Wow.
They're tied in what's called the Fuqing gang. This is bigger than the Italian mafia. They're one of the biggest transnational organized crime groups in the world. They're human traffickers, drug traffickers, and like they're known. In fact, one of the biggest human trafficking operations ever uncovered, which was the Golden Venture, which was a human trafficking ship ran aground off the coast of New York, hit ground, people, again, jumped off frigid waters, people died. It was a human rights disaster. That was the Fuqing gang.
Wow.
And so I'm like, man, what did I get myself into? What did I get myself into? Then I find out the head of the Chinese consulate at the time, Peng Kaiyu, is meeting with them and encouraging them. And so I find out the CCP is orchestrating this. And then what do I find out? Why are the police being told stand down? It's just a disagreement of the community. I find out these organizations and the heads of them are part of the police advisory board. And they're the ones, the people doing it are telling the police, oh, it's just a disagreement. And so that led into a crazy long investigation where I started reporting on what turned out to be one of the largest Chinese operations to infiltrate the United States.
Jeez.
Influence elections, bribe public.
I hope you guys are enjoying the show. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps the show a lot with the algorithm. Thank you.
Officials, you name it. And I mean, they threatened to kill me to my face multiple times. I got surrounded multiple times. I mean, people telling me I'm going to kill you. I had a contact who was a house Christian. He told, and a democracy activist, he told me that they told him that they hired a hitman to chop off one of his hands.
Holy crap.
And he woke up, they had slashed the tires of his car. I reported on it, and I basically said, all right, if they do it, everyone's going to know it was them. And they ended up not doing it. But that's the kind of stuff I uncovered.
Wow.
And over the course of time, I mean, that led into my career as a journalist. And it's just snowballed from there into what I do now, which is just investigating the full picture of everything they're doing. I don't think the country realizes how big of an issue this is. We, in my opinion, risk losing our government while maintaining the surface image of our government if this is allowed to continue.
Crazy. Have they infiltrated politics within the U.S.?
They have. Massively. Massively.
Also,
I'll give you one example. So you probably, in fact, I'll be talking about this on stage today just a little bit. I only have 8 minutes. It's like short, but a little bit. I'll give you a few examples. So you've heard about the Chinese farmland, right?
Yeah.
So everyone's probably heard about that by now. People are saying, well, why are they buying these farms? Why are they doing that? Why would China care about having farmland? And people are saying, well, do they want to mess with our food supply? There was that weird incident where Chinese nationals are found smuggling what's called an agricultural bioweapon. It was a fungus that could have destroyed our crops. That was a big deal. Was that the idea? Well, they wouldn't really need to buy land to do that unless they wanted to, like, I don't know, grow it or something like that. You know, maybe they could have it spread, or maybe they could, I don't know, bring in like avian flu or swine flu if they have a pig or, bird farm or something like that. Maybe it's something like that. Maybe they're building it by military bases. They want to.
All right, guys, Sean Kelly here, host of the Digital Social Hour podcast. Just filmed 33 amazing episodes at Student Action Summit. Shout out to Code Health, sponsor of these episodes, but also I took them before filming each day. Felt amazing. Just filmed 20 episodes straight, and I'm not even tired, honestly. So Code Health, amazing products. I also take these at home, especially when I traveled. I used to get sick every time I flew, and I started taking that. First time, I haven't had a runny nose, knock on wood. One standout element, it's so easy. You got the travel pack here, but you could just take this, fit it in your pocket if you need to. Also, all natural, like only saline solution in there. So you don't got to worry about any crazy side effects or anything. Yeah, Code's unique. With supplements, there's a lot of who knows what's in those ingredients. Code Health, I haven't seen much like this, where it's just based off the codes that are in the saline solution. So I would say they're very unique. It's going to be the future of health and medicine. Code Health has been awesome.
Feel the drop and go code yourself.
Spy on the U.S. military. That's an issue too. If you were to ask me, I'd say all of the above and more. There was actually a congressional report last year, and members of Congress were investigating, and this was during the Biden administration, so Republicans were leading this,
Right.
And it became partisan, unfortunately. But last year, Congress launched an investigation of Chinese subversion of the U.S. government, and they looked at 24 different agencies, and they had the heads of different agencies come and testify before Congress. Among them was the head of the USDA. And what was raised during this was, one, the Chinese Communist Party is actively trying to influence the USDA. Two, the USDA is not guarded against this because in their eyes, we need China as a trading partner. Three, they have training programs, trade programs that have basically no security. And four, they find out China is in fact buying up land. These are being cleared for purchase. It's allowed to go through. It represents not just a national security threat in terms of espionage, but they said in that report, China's plan was to control the American food supply for two reasons. One being, China, they have problems of pollution. Their black soil regions, which is their main farmland, it's becoming too polluted and the black soil is going away. They're dealing with deserts moving in. They can't grow crops. They actually relinquished their programs many years ago on grain self-sufficiency.
Wow.
They can't grow enough food to support themselves. Then they have water pollution. They have swine flu and they have avian flu. And they don't really, they're more like they eat a lot of chicken, they eat a lot of pork, you know what I mean? And so swine flu, avian flu, that's like a big part of their meat production. So what do they have to eat? Well, they need to buy it. And so that's why they're buying up through Belt and Road Initiative. They're taking over natural resources. They're buying up farmland in Africa and Latin America, and they're buying it up in the United States. And so the issue is they're growing food here and sending it to China, partly. But the concern raised in that report is if they continue expanding it, that they will weaponize the American food supply because they've done it in other countries.
Really?
They control a lot of the food already in like Africa, a lot of the natural resources. They do this on another side with rare earth minerals, where they have a global monopoly on, it's not all in China, it's the international mines. And they've gotten a lot of that through bribery, through the One Belt and Road Initiative and that kind of stuff. And then they use it strategically to control the countries. Russia does that with energy, for example, another side of it. And so they were saying that China was planning to do that with their food supply. But while people are focused on, man, that's a big deal, farmland, what was not paid attention to was Congress investigated 23 other U.S. agencies, and they had the exact same problems.
Wow.
24, and if you count again USDA, 24 government agencies, they looked into them. All of them are being targeted and subverted by the Chinese Communist Party.
Holy crap.
Wherever you guys are watching this show, I would truly appreciate it if you follow or subscribe. It helps a lot with the algorithm. It helps us get bigger and better guests, and it helps us grow the team. Truly means a lot. Thank you guys for supporting, and here's the episode.